Hi again, everyone. Thank you for being with me today. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are based in the world. I am currently talking to you from Paris. My name is Jade Levan, and I'm on the Tableau public team. And today I will be presenting you how to embed URL objects in dashboards. So let me get rid of this slide. What I wanted to show you today was first, a great example of a visualization that contains a lot of dashboard actions by Johnny Walker. You probably know him. I muted it because it was quite noisy, but basically I'll send you the link and you can open it in your browser. You will see that there is a hummingbird singing, and then you see this is a GIF, and there is a video here. So Johnny Walker is quite a pro when it comes to embedding stuff in his dashboards, and the effect is good because he has a good sense of design. The techniques I will show you today, I wouldn't encourage you to use them all the time. Try to really make sure that there is an added value in using YouTube videos or GIFs or sound, but it can really make a viz more powerful if you use it well. Okay, so you've probably noticed that you cannot talk to me. I'm the only one talking here, but don't worry. I also want to know if you have questions, and I'll be checking the chat box and answering, taking pauses and answering from time to time. If I miss you, please ask again. If there is a lot of activity in the chat box, I will finish noticing it. I'm alone today animating this webinar, so please be patient if I'm not answering right away. All right, so I've prepared this dashboard for you that I will share. I can share it now, but please don't look at it while we talk. You can just look at it later. It shows you the various types of content that you can easily embed in a Tableau public viz. It's not exhaustive. There are for sure many more stuff that you can embed. It's just that people haven't found out yet. So this webinar is also to encourage you to be creative. When you discover a new tool on the web, then you can try and see if you can easily embed it in Tableau. So among the things you can embed, there are GIFs and YouTube videos and sound, like songs from Spotify that I've already mentioned. But there are also some other tools that are less famous, like juxtapose.js and timeline.js, that we will be touching upon a little bit. So the idea is that there are two stuff you can embed in a dashboard, and it will all be using the web object that you can find in a dashboard. And you can either decide to make a static embed, which means that whatever happens, it won't change, or a dynamic embed, which means that when people click on a mark, then it will impact the things that is shown in the web object. So starting with the static, I will only be showing you what doesn't have a tutorial yet. So I was looking for tutorials for the various stuff. And for those that I could find, I just link them here. If you click here, they will show. I mean, if you click here on the menu that appears in the tooltip, then you will get access to the tutorial. And for the other ones, I just tried to make a quick description of how it works, but we can see it together later. Okay. So the example I wanted to bring to you today is about music, because I thought this would be quite universal in terms of interests. So I started a list of songs that I like, and what we will be working on today is completing it with a couple more so that you see how to get the right information and what to collect, how to get the right URLs, these kind of things. And then we will just update the viz that I created, and we can, if you have questions about it, then you can ask me. So there are several stuff that I've embedded in my viz, and if you don't really understand how it worked, you can just ask. Okay, and so because I want it to be interesting for you, I will take the first 2 songs that people give me. So give me an artist and a song. And then those are the ones that we will use as examples to add to our dashboard. So I'm looking at the chat box. Any idea? Okay, Darude Sandstorm. Which one is the artist and which one is the song? Darude is the artist. Alright, so Darude the artist. And then Sandstorm is the title. Cool. If you don't have any other ideas, we can, maybe one example is enough. I just thought I didn't want to leave anyone unsatisfied. Okay. So let's see first how we can embed a Wikipedia page, and I'll show you quickly what the result would be. So if we click here, I've made this embed. And the good thing with embedding web objects like Wikipedia pages is that the structure of a Wikipedia page is pretty standard. So you won't have any bad surprise when trying to embed, when trying to automate the URLs in your data set. You see, if I open the few that I have, they are basically the same start, which is https://wikipedia.org/wiki/ the name of the artist. So that's very cool because it means we won't have to find manually all the URLs. We can just use some formulas that I have here. I can share you the fixed part in the chat box so that you take note of it. This is the mobile version, and let me show you what it does if I don't use the mobile version. Oops, sorry. If I don't use the mobile version, I will have the full broad desktop version, which will probably not look very good on a dashboard. So this is why I encourage you, when you embed a web page, to always check if there is a mobile version available. And you will see the difference between the standard desktop page in Wikipedia is it doesn't have an M here between EN and Wikipedia, while the mobile one has this little M that stands for mobile. And so once you know that, you can decide to have the normal one if you know that your dashboard is going to be a broad format. But if you know that you don't have a lot of space or that there will be additional pieces to your dashboard, then you might want to just use the mobile view. So we've added the Darude Sandstorm in the data set. So let me update the visualization. I'll just tell to Tableau that I want to refresh. And now I see, I'll give it a bit more space. And now I see the Darude. And I see the Wikipedia page, which is here. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing the song. Oh, sorry. The song actually comes later, so the song comes here. And I was using a formula because sometimes the name of the bands are not in one single string, like is the case for Alicia Keys. And in this case, then you will need to add the underscore between the name and the last name. I can share with you. This is a very easy formula. It's just basic Excel. So my formula is just saying if you cannot find a space in my string, then just use the original string. Like in IO, there is no space. Otherwise, replace the original string with the string and where the spaces have been replaced by underscore. So that's all it does, and that gives you the right link for Alicia Keys' page. And luckily, I don't have bands that have 3 words in their name, but if I had, I would need to update this formula to include this. Yeah. Okay. So you might be thinking this is going a bit too fast because this was already ready. So my idea was also to show you how to build this from scratch. So let's do a completely new dashboard where we will build the top 4 songs table, and then we will go from scratch to the dashboard and see how I brought this Wikipedia page to life. So if I want to, tell me, and by the way, tell me if you're actually comfortable enough to skip this, because this was listed as an advanced session, so I don't want to bore you. But if there are people who don't really know how to do this, then I will repeat. Okay, at least one person would like to see it from scratch, so I'll do it quickly. So if I want to build my ranking, I'll just bring ranking to rows, and then I will add the singer and the song. Actually, if I add the song in the text, I get rid of this ABC. And this is basically the first element of my dashboard. I can hide this because it's ugly. And here we are. So I will call it top 4. And now I'll just build a new dashboard. Top 4 Wikipedia. I bring my top 4. I can adjust it to fit the width. And then what I need is this web object that you will find here, so web page. I'll just bring an empty web page here at the bottom, give it more space. And now what I need to create is a dashboard action. So I'll go here to dashboard, actions, and you see that I have 3 options when I create an action, filter, highlight, and URL. Obviously, we're going to use the URL 1. And this is where I noticed that I forgot something, because if here you check the URL field, you see that there is no URL available. So what we need to do is just go back to our top 4 and add the Wikipedia page URL, or let's add both, the Wikipedia mobile and the Wikipedia page, so that we can see the difference. All right, and now I add my action again, URL. I'll do it on select. I'll do it on select and then show you what happens if it's hover or menu, so that you have a good understanding. And let's use the Wikipedia page at the moment. So now, when I click on a song, I see the Wikipedia page of the artist loading. I can refresh so that I get the name of the song as well. Darude Sandstorm. Not yet. Did I save? Okay, let me try that again. Tac. Yes. All right. Cool. So this is what we wanted to do, and what would be the difference if we use the mobile version. I'll just duplicate this dashboard and replace in my action the Wikipedia page by the Wikipedia mobile page. And now you see it's a little less cluttered. Here it doesn't really make sense because the dashboard is pretty broad. But if I was building a mobile version of this dashboard, then it could make sense to have this long format, the mobile format. Because if I try to build a mobile version here, it won't look very cool with this menu on the left side. See, it's a bit cluttered. All right, and last thing I told you I would show you was what's the difference between the dashboard actions on hover, on the menu, and on select. So select you saw, I just have to click on the name of the song. Hover would be like this. So a bit less, like a bit intrusive. I don't really like when web pages are charging on hover because you don't really know what's happening. Sometimes you just pass over a field, you don't really want anything to happen, but it still takes the action as if you wanted to load the page. And it can be pretty slow once you publish, depending on the performance of the server. So my advice is to use either the select or the menu, and the menu is the last option, so let me show it to you. Here, when I click on the song, then in the tooltip I will have a menu that says hyperlink to, and clicking on this menu hyperlink will lead me to updating the page. Of course, I can change the name of my action. If I wanted to say see Wikipedia page, it would become much more clearer what I'm trying to do, because here I would understand what the action is about. Okay, any questions so far? If not, let's move to our second thing we want to embed today, which will be image. So dynamic images that you are not saving as icons in your workbook, but really images that are hosted on the web. And the advantage is that it won't reduce the efficiency of your workbook, because sometimes if you import custom images and that they are heavy and there are lots of them, then it might be a bit slow. Okay, so let's go back to our data source, data set. And you see here I have image URL. So you will see here that it's going to be more manual than the Wikipedia thing, because for Wikipedia, if I wanted to add other singers, like, I don't know, Jay-Z, or like, I don't know, Ariana Grande, then I automatically get my codes. It's very, very automated. For the images, unless you find a website that has a very structured way of keeping its inventory of images, you will have to look for images on Google. So Darude, you'll have to find the image you like of Darude. So let's just use the same one that's on Wikipedia. And then you have to get the link of this image. Oops, sorry. I just wanted to copy the link. And sorry, my Google is in French, but I'm pretty sure you all know how to do this. Copy the address of the image, and here we are. Let's check. Right, that's the correct image. Okay, so I'll save again my data set, and let's just update the data set here in Tableau. Refresh. Yes. All right, someone is asking for the Excel file. I will put it online, or you can just you can get it from the workbook. Let me take a quick break here just to show you how you can get access to this presentation and the data that's behind. So I've shared with you the dashboard where I stored the tutorials and some examples. If you click here at the bottom, I think I have a download. If I have not, let me correct that immediately. Okay, so now you can download it. And this might be useful for those of you who are pretty new to Tableau Public, because once you've downloaded something, you can open it. You will see the dashboard exactly the way I built it, with all the components, all the sheets. It's a bit messy, sorry. And if you find a worksheet and you click here on this little icon that says View Data, let's do it again, View Data, then you will have all the data. So you can just copy this, open a new Excel, and paste it, and here's your data. But I guess I can still share the actual. I will send it to you. I will send you a link with the follow-up email, because you might want to use the formulas that are in there, even though I already shared them. It might help. Okay. So after this parenthesis, let's go back to our visualization, and let's see if this image link is working. So I'll just duplicate again my dashboard, and I will need to add, of course, the image to the details of my top 4. So image URL is here. I just drag and drop it onto detail. And now I can just go ahead and edit my dashboard action. Oops, I need to, so see what happened? I didn't see the actions. That's because I was on my phone layout. If I go back to my default layout, I see the actions. And I can replace this Wikipedia mobile image with the image URL. And now, hopefully, yes. You see that now the images, like what is loading in the web page object, is the image that we chose. So just keep in mind that having hand-picked images for each of your singers, or there are some other cool videos, one about the skyscrapers in New York. All those images were hand-picked, so it takes a bit of time, and it really must be a project where adding the images will have some value. All right, cool. Next one will be Spotify. So I chose the music theme because it was allowing us to use lots of different embedded objects. And when we're talking about singers, bands, songs, we really want people to be able to listen to the playlists. So what I will do is I will open Spotify and find this Darude Sandstorm, and it will allow me to discover the song because I never heard it. All right, play. Whatever, you will probably not be able to listen to it, so I'll listen to it later on. So what we are looking for now is this unique ID of any Spotify song, so this part. But it usually comes as this URL, openspotify.com/track. And to get this one, I go here on the song's title, and I do copy song link. And this is the link that I wanted. And then I've just used another formula to get only this part of the URL and add it to the embed code that I need to embed stuff in Tableau. So again, sharing the formula. And I'm seeing a question, might be useful to explain why it's not always good to use details for these purposes. I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe you can clarify and we can come back on it later. Okay. All right. So now I've got the URL of the song that I want to embed. So for the formula, you can just let me talk to you a bit about the Excel formula. So I just know that the beginning of the formula that I need is this, so no question about that. You can keep note of that. And then I just needed to find a way to add the unique ID that I told you about. That's after /. So how I did this was I needed to find where track slash is in this first string, and this I found with the find formula. And then I added 5 characters because starting from the T you have 5 characters until the slash. And then to know how long is the string that's after the track slash, I did the total length of the string minus the length of the string after the slash. And I took the right part of the string and got the length of it from this formula. Right. So now that we have this, we can just go back to our workbook. I'll update the data. Yep. And I'll just duplicate my workbook. So let me rename them Wikipedia mobile image. And this one will be Spotify. Right. And now if I go to, I need to add again my Spotify link. So it will be this one. And yeah, I can also add it to tooltips to make it available. Cool. So yeah, the person that was mentioning that it's not always good to drop stuff on detail was right. It's just that sometimes here my level of detail is the song and there is no smaller than this. But sometimes, let's say I wanted just a picture of IO and then I had several songs by IO, so I might have a different level of detail on my visualization, and whatever I drop on the level of detail will make what appears here in my table the smallest level of detail available due to the fact that I have a unique URL for each of the songs or each of the things. So another way to get access to a field for your URL actions without modifying the level of detail of your viz is to put the field that you want in tooltip. So you can put your URLs either in detail or in tooltip. But yeah, if you're building a project like this, you can just drop it here in detail. If you see that detail is completely messing up with your viz, then you will remember this discussion and you can just try dropping it in tooltip and see what happens. Okay, and this should work once you publish. Or yeah, maybe you need to connect to your Spotify account to make sure it works. But let me see again on the published one here. Okay. Yeah, this embed should just put how to call that, a sample of the song, and just take note that it might take a couple of seconds before the song loads, and you can actually play it. So listen to the song. At first you cannot click, but then after a couple seconds you will see that you can finally click. Okay. All right. And now, last one I wanted to show you in relation with this artist and songs theme is how to embed a YouTube URL. So let's find the YouTube video of Darude Sandstorm. Probably this one. Oh, this is the song. Okay, cool. I was afraid it was an advertisement. Okay, sorry. Yeah, here we are. So the URL that we will need to embed the YouTube video is actually the embed URL that you will find when you do share, and then embed, and then just grab the whole thing and strip it of the iframe, because embedded URL object is just is not an iframe. So once you've got this, you're good. And what I added at the end is it's a tip to be able to autoplay the song. I'll show you how it looks online. So I have this sample, and it launches the video automatically. So it's just to save people one more click. You might think it's annoying. Sometimes it is, like when stuff launches automatically, you have tons of tabs on your browser and you don't know which one is singing. But yeah, just sharing the tip in case you want to use it. So in that case, you will need to add $autoplay equals 1 and loop equals 1 at the end of your URL. You could, of course, do this with a formula by concatenating the two strings. I'll share with you the tip here. So you just remember, you go to the YouTube video, you click on the share button, then you find the embed version of the code, copy paste it, and if you want the song to autoplay, then you just add the bit of code that I just shared in the chat box. Okay, so now we're good. I'll just save this and I'll refresh the data. And let's see how we can embed the YouTube video. So again, I go back to my top 4. I need to add the YouTube URL in tooltip or detail. And then when I go dashboard actions, I can just change the Spotify one for the YouTube one. And you will see it doesn't work while you are on Tableau Public, while you are on the software Tableau Public. But let's publish it and see that it then works. So file. And you will see, no, I won't erase the workbook I prepared for you. So let's call this YouTube test. Save. We'll take a couple more seconds. And don't hesitate to ask questions when there is a little break like this. And you see that even though it wasn't working in the application, in Tableau, Tableau Public, the software, then it's working fine here once published. All right. If you find those very ugly, you probably know that you can just change the tooltips. So you would have to go here and get rid of all of those and maybe just keep the singer and the song. Looks better. Okay. And so there is one thing that is a bit annoying when you're using embedded objects, is that you cannot use two different interactive objects on the same sheet. So if I try to bring another blank space here and I want to make another URL action, so I add, let's say, the Spotify thing or the Wikipedia page, you will see that you cannot really do that. So Wikipedia page. Okay. Because it's going to replace the other action. The only way you could possibly have access to two different web objects in the same viz is if you use the menu action. So if both of those were menu actions, this one would be show image, and this one would be show Wikipedia page, and it would be a menu. Then you can have both, but not at the same time. So people can choose to see either the image or the Wikipedia page. The Wikipedia page, of course, includes an image, but yeah, if that's more if you wanted to show an image and the Spotify track, or the Wikipedia page and the YouTube video, that's not going to be possible. Yeah, sure, you can do hover for one and select for the other one, but then this. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really know which one will have dominance over the other. I guess yeah. Well, that's pretty clever. Yeah, that's a good idea. So we still have the same problem. They appear in the same object. And the other one becomes, the other one is irrelevant. But yeah, that's another way of doing it, if you want the action to be more immediate. Yeah, why not? Why not? It's just that the hover actions usually makes me dizzy, so I avoid using it, but why not? Okay, great. Another thing I wanted to show you quickly, and that's pretty simple, is if you want to embed stuff like Google Sheets or Google Form, it can add some interactivity to your viz. So if I had this example here, let's say I want to know what you guys think of my top 3. I can just create a Google form. And now I'll find it here in big. Google form. Yeah, no, that's not the one. Okay, let me find it again so that we can edit it together. Yeah, here it is. So if you want to include a Google form, the good news is that you will be able to do so while having another updating thing. Because in the case of a Google form, it's a fixed URL, so there is no interactivity. Whatever you choose up there, you will always have the same Google form. So you can have a static element embedded while you have a dynamic element. You can have 2 URL objects, but one needs to be static. Okay, so very easy. I won't teach you. I don't work for Google, so I won't teach you how to create a Google form. I'll just show you where to find the embed code and what options you should not use if you want to have a nice user experience. So in the settings of your Google form, try not to use the collect email address and limit to 1 response, because then you will have an ugly message popping up which asks people to identify, like to connect to their Google account before they can answer the form. So you don't want that. And then you just go send, find the URL, you can shorten it if you want, copy it, and let's go back to, yeah, we can go back to our Spotify or to our YouTube embed, and I will add another web page below. And this time, it's just this fixed URL here. So you see my action is not impacting this fixed URL, which is pretty neat. And then you can poll people on what they think of your Vs or whatever. I'm just trying to give you the keys to create some amazing stuff in Tableau here. Great. Any questions so far? Nope. Cool. Okay. So another couple of cool stuff that I wanted to show you is things that you may not be aware of, which is, for instance, juxtapose.js. Some people might think it's not really cool, but because it's not been used a lot on Tableau Public, then it has at least the effect of novelty. So the idea is that juxtapose.js allows you to put two images, one before image and one after image, and then move from one to the other with a slider. So it means you can create two views in Tableau Public of a map or some phenomena at different moments in time, and then just allow people to slide to see how here the situation has evolved from 1999 to 2014. So how it works is pretty easy. You will find everything. I will share the link to juxtapose.js here. You just create the viz before, after, and then make screenshots of it, make PNG images that you will then save in Juxtapose. So you need to host it somewhere, then post the before, post the after here, and if you want any label, preview, publish, and you get the link to embed from the publish part. And the other cool one that you might not know is also from NightLab, and it's a tool to create timelines. So I might open it in a bigger window so that you can see it fully. It allows you to create interactive timelines, and then if you couple that with some data analysis that you've done on the same topic, it can be quite nice. So this was done by an Argentinian university at the communications department, and it's about Queen, her beauty pageant that has been held for 81 years in Argentina. So here you have some information about the winners of this contest. And then they've done a timeline for every 2 decades where you can find pictures of the queens and see how the standards of beauty may have evolved over time. I guess they are missing some images for some, but that's a problem on the timeline.js rather than on Tableau. And the same, I'll just share the link with you, timeline.js. It's pretty easy to use. They give you, they tell you how to structure your data to be able to make a nice timeline. It's connected to Google Sheets, and you can try it if you have a good historical story to share. Among the things that are less known is also the possibility to embed other data visualization tools like Plotly. Again, I'll open the big version of it. So the head of the Tableau Public team, Ben Jones, did this nice tutorial about how to do it. It's all in the workbook. And yeah, he's telling you a bit more in detail how to do that. So I won't go into depth for the ones that I know have good tutorials, just sharing what it could look like with you. Right. One last one that would probably need another tutorial by its own is Google Maps, because even though it's pretty easy to make nice Google Maps view in Tableau Public, the software, once you publish, it will break because Google Maps wants you to use their API to have the views. They don't let you embed stuff as you want. So I'm currently looking for a house, so I was downloading some information about the real estate prices in the city that I'm interested in. And then I wanted to be able, so there is a good that I was visiting, and I wanted to make sure that it's not overpriced. And to do that, after getting access to the information from the sales and how many, what's the price per square meter, what's the surface of the flats that have been sold in that city, I wanted to be able to really see where they are on the map compared to the place that I'm interested in, that is somewhere here. So what I did is I just created a calculated field in my workbook that's called Google Maps Search. And because I noticed that Google Maps Search usually have a very standard format, Google Maps. So if you look for an address in Google Maps, let's say the office of Tableau Paris is 19 Boulevard Malesherbes. And you see that it will look like this, https maps/place/ the address separated with pluses. So knowing this, I just split the address and to get the equivalent of the search in the browser. And that's how I was able to spot the different goods on the map, and it saves you lots of time rather than having to copy-paste from the Excel or PDF where you get the information to Google Maps. It's really a big time saver. The problem is that it breaks if you try to publish it as such. So there is a whole tutorial about this, how to use the API and make sure that Google Maps lets you embed, but if you embed it just like this, it won't work. So I think I can do probably a 30 minutes webinar on this in the next couple months. But if you really want to use this Google Maps embed functionality, then you can just check the tutorial that is in the story. In dynamic Google Maps Street View. It's a tutorial, this one by Nelson Davis, and it tells you all about how to get your Google Maps API key and how to, you will need to host a bit of HTML code somewhere and call this HTML code with the latitude and the longitude to be able to display the map. Okay, I'm seeing some questions. Someone's tried to pull images and they're not showing, so let's have a quick look. They fit the window. So image size is quite difficult to get. Sometimes you can define the size of the image on the URL itself. Let me open it in Firefox to try to replicate the issue. If not, we can be in touch later. And another question that I had, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, I need to look at it a little bit to understand why the sizing is different. I'll show my email address again at the end, and you can send me a quick one, and I will come back to you about this. And another question, can you embed your whole dashboard into a web page on your website such that people may not even know it's done in Tableau? For sure, you can embed your dashboard in a web page. People will still know that it comes from Tableau because it will have the toolbar. But I have this test blog when I want to embed stuff. And so let's see. You can either use the embed code that's provided by Tableau, or you can use an iframe. So here, obviously, my viz is too big to fit the column width. But yeah, it's embedded directly from Tableau using an iframe. I'll share with you the structure of the iframe. So this would be your dashboard. Oh, okay, I have it somewhere else. I'll share the embed code best practices. There you go. If you want to use an iframe, this is what it will look like, and otherwise you can just use the embed code generated automatically at the bottom of the viz in Tableau Public. You just click share and get that embed code, and it will work on most CMS, and if it doesn't, then the iframe should do the trick. Okay, any other questions? If you don't have any question, maybe I'll share one more resource with you. This is a post by Jewel, who used to be on the Tableau Public team and do some pretty fun stuff. It's about the awesome stuff that you can use in Tableau, and some of it we've already seen today, like dynamic images. I think we've seen most of it today. The video, sometimes it breaks if YouTube changed the embed code at some point, but usually it should be pretty stable. You have this guy who managed to use the Google Maps API to embed the Google views. That looks pretty cool. The Wikipedia page we've seen, and then adding sound is a bit like adding the Spotify track. You have different ways to host your sound, so you can host it on Spotify, SoundCloud. You can also maybe, if you record your own track, you can host it somewhere on Dropbox and then call this soundtrack. So the possibilities are really infinite, and it will just depend on your imagination and the data you want to analyze, and you could do some pretty crazy stuff.